Good morning, everyone. I am Tom Jenney. I'm the Arizona Director of Americans for Prosperity. And Americans for Prosperity has brought this gigantic inflatable ATM machine out here onto the Senate lawn because we are already taxed to the max. That's what ATM stands for, already taxed to the max. And what we want to tell the public right now is that we are ready to fight any tax increase proposal that goes to the ballot. We will fight that thing all the way up until Election Day. And we will be very happy to bring this ATM machine to every corner of Arizona from Apache County to Yuma. We're totally willing to do that. We're going to be happy to do that. And we will be happy to bring these ATM debit cards with the names of politicians who are going to the ATM machine and treating the people of Arizona as if they were an ATM cash machine that they can just keep going back to over and over again. We have on this particular debit card the name of Jan Brewer from the Bank of Big Government, and she apparently wants to go to this giant ATM, the tax-paying public of Arizona, and pull out some more cash because the state of Arizona, the politicians, got themselves into a fiscal disaster by spending too much money. We are more than happy to put the names of legislators on these debit cards when we go around the state. I'm not sure how to spell Konupnicki, but I will learn. We're going to have a series of people to speak to you, some legislators, some policy experts, some stakeholders here from the public, people who do not want the Arizona government to raise their taxes. We, again, at Arizona chapter of Americans for Prosperity, we are prepared to fight this thing on the ballot. But what a gigantic waste of resources for the public. What a gigantic waste of resources, collective resources for the taxpayers of Arizona to have to take a dumb tax proposal to the ballot and then shoot it down on the ballot. What a waste. I think, and I think taxpayers will agree with me, that instead of putting this kind of proposal on the ballot, we ought to be working together down here. The governor, the legislature, taxpayer interests, everybody who has a stake here in Arizona, we ought to be working together to cut spending. We need to cut spending, and the way we need to do that, we need to root out the waste in this government. We need to go into school district bureaucracies and remove the wasteful spending that's in those school districts. We need to sell state assets. We need to privatize state government functions and return functions to the private sector that are not done efficiently by government. There's a lot of ways to do this. If you go to our website, aztaxpayers.org, you will find that we have had a list of about $6 billion of options that we can use to reduce the deficit. We've only gone through about $2 billion of those options so far in the House and Senate budgets. We got a long way to go, and there's absolutely no reason to raise taxes. Our first speaker will be Senator Russell Pierce.